While everyone's pouring their savings into the same handful of red-hot AI stocks, the greatest investor who ever lived did the exact opposite. He quietly bet $44 billion on a 150-year-old machine, so boring most people forget it exists. And it touches almost everything you own. The food in your fridge, the car in your driveway, even the phone in your pocket rode on it to get to you. And right now, for the first time in over a century, that machine is being completely redrawn by an $85 billion deal that almost no everyday investor is watching at the exact moment that the AI bubble everyone's ignoring gets more and more dangerous by the day. So here's what nobody tells you. When the bubble finally lets go, the flashy stuff can cut your savings in half, or worse, but boring. Real-world businesses like this one are exactly where the smart money hides to survive. And I just put my own money into this 6 figures. And Winston had to sit down on that one because he was like, it was my call. Don't take the credit for it. Of course he's right. Now I'm not going to hold you hostage. This stock is called Norolk Suran, ticker symbol NSC, and I bought it myself just yesterday. But don't run off and buy it yet, because here's the truth no one tells you. Most people lose money, even on the greatest stock. So stay with me, have a little bit of patience, and by the end of the video, you'll understand railroads better than 99% of investors on Wall Street. You know exactly why Warren Buffett went all-in, and you'll have a simple 3-part test to tell whether NSC, this stock I just bought, is a once-in-a-duration buy for you in your situation, or maybe a trap. My name is Felix Breen. That was Winston down there. And I'm an ex-banker. I'm the founder of the GOAT Academy. My retired Wall Street mentors have taught and continue to teach more than 25,000 investors there, the kind of stuff that's usually only reserved for the pros, and I accept no sponsors. I don't get paid to talk about this video. Never. This stock, never have, never will. You won't find any sponsorship at all anywhere, anything to do with me. And I'm also not here to sell you a fund I just believe you deserve for lunch and education. And my goal is to give it to you. So today, I'm going to show you a really boring, physical, almost unkillable business that could be exactly what protects you when the flashy AI stuff finally cracks, which it will. And I'm going to throw a lot of information at you to make sure this really lands. I have done something well. I don't swell. Winston, sit up, 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 sit up, 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 Well, Winston here, he is in all his glory. He, of course, put together a free research report for you, didn't you, Winston? He's shitty because we went to the beach this morning, had a lovely swim, and I'll be covering everything that I'm covering here, plus a lot more. So you can download it for free, completely for free. Phoenix.org, OP. You know me. It stands for opportunity, right? If you get that random reference, put it in the comments down below as well. That might surprise you. Now, links in the description. Grab it, follow along, keep it as your cheat sheet to this. But don't run out and buy a stock because some guy on YouTube's talking about it. Surely we've learned that lesson by now. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a registered investment advisor. But let's start with the big idea, and then we're going to go deep so you really understand this and why I just bought it, why the smart money is pouring into this. A railroad is not about trains. Forget the trains for a second, right? A railroad is a private road and everybody else has to pay the owner to use it. Picture the only bridge across a wide river. If you want your truck of, cereal, coal, new cars, your Amazon boxes to get to the other side, you pay the person who owns the bridge every single time. That's a railroad. It is a giant toll booth stretched across the great country that is the United States, and the whole economy has to feed coins into it. And here's how big that is. Roughly 40% of America's long distance and freight moves by rail. The stuff that builds your life, the grain, the chemicals, the lumber, the car parts, the fuel, a huge slice of it rides the rail. And the rail is stupidly efficient. A single gallon of diesel can move 1 ton of freight about 500 miles on a train. No truck on the highway comes close ever. So it is cheaper, it is greener, and it is insanely hard to beat. Now, here's the part that makes an investor's eye light up if you have a little bit more of a longer horizon. Nobody can build a competing one. Think about it. You cannot go out and lay 2,000 miles of brand new track right next to theirs. The land is taken. The permits would take centuries. The cost would be astronomical, so no startup is going to disrupt it. No app is going to replace it. And pay attention. No amount of AI can kill it. You cannot download a train. You cannot 3D print a national rail network. In fact, AI makes railroads more profitable because it helps them run leaner. This is a rare business where the tech revolution is already helping. So, here's your first takeaway, and write this one down. It's the single idea this whole video is built on. Own the toll booth, not the traffic. So we want to own the road, not the latest Erevan or gas whatever, natural something new fuel type truck. No, we don't care about that. We just want to own the road, because no matter what the latest technology will be, they're going to have to use our road. And the uncomfortable part, and I need you to sit with this for a second, right now a huge chunk of the market's money, of your money, is crammed into a tiny handful of very glamorous, wildly priced stories. Everybody owns the same few stocks. Everybody is sure it only goes up. AI is the future. Well, the internet really was the future, right? In 2000, the internet really was the future. It still is, right? We wouldn't be having this here right now. And that ended with a NASDAQ crashing 78%. The banks are quietly offloading AI while selling it to you, just like they did in 2000, just like they did it again in 2007. And I honestly have not worked as hard as I have this week in many years, right? Look at how many videos I put out in the last few days, because I am genuinely worried about people right now. Good people with their retirement plans at risks. And I've been on podcasts this week, something I don't usually do. And I've spent hours working on a training to give you the tools the pros have, because the people who get hurt worse than a crash are regular investors who never saw it coming. And I just don't want that to be you. I think it's preventable. And that's exactly why I'm going to run for you tomorrow, maybe even today, as you're watching this, a free 2-hour live training. And I call it How to Survive the Bubble. And you can simply go to survivethebubble.com right now. You can grab your free ticket. You can show up live. You can bring your questions. It'll work. If you're in America, in Europe, and in Asia, I'll be up very, very late to make sure this works for as many people around the world as possible. And I'm going to walk you through with Winston. Now, he might be sleeping, but he'll be here in spirit. How to protect what you've built, what you've worked for all your life, where the smart money actually hides when the music stops. And trust me, it will. And the link is down there below, survivethebubble.com. Claim your seat. It's in the description. It's in the comment pinned to the video. And then come back here, because next I'm going to show you the man who wrote the playbook on this particular story right now, and really why I now own this stock. Doesn't mean you should, but you might want to learn the why, so you can maybe make better decisions for yourself, right? So if you're going to show up for yourself on Saturday, write, show up in the comments, and I know you'll be there. So who's the smartest money of all? Can we agree on one person? Warren Buffett, Uncle Warren. And I think we can, right? And I want to tell you what he did, because it's the single best clue in this entire story. Back in 2009, and it's a long time ago, yes, in AI land, Buffett's company, Berkshire, bought an entire railroad. It's called BNSF. Paid about $44 billion for it. You know, pocket change from them, sort of, you know, what a lunch will cost. And at that time, it was the biggest deal of his entire career. He didn't buy a few shares. He literally bought the whole thing, right? He bought the toll booth. And here's what he called it. These are his words. He said, "An Allen bet on the economic future of the United States." So think about what that means. The most patient, most careful investor who has ever lived looked at every business on the planet, everywhere, right? And he chose a railroad. Why? Same three reasons we just talked about, and I'll say them in plain English. One, you can't copy it. The tracks are in the ground, so nobody can lay a second one, which is called a moat, right? And two, there are only a handful of them. The big national railroads in America can be counted on one hand. The industry even has a name for the giants, Class 1 railroads. So when only a few companies control something the whole country needs, it is what we call an oligopoly. And it's a wonderful thing to own. Just ask your average Russian. And third, they've got pricing power. If you need to move a mountain of grain across the country, you can't exactly shop around for a different railroad. So they can raise prices at that time, and customers still have to suck it up. So Evan's buying the shiny stuff. Smartest money in history, in my humble opinion, bought the boring toll booth, and he's holding it forever. Now Buffett bought BNSF. I'm not going to tell you he bought Norfolk Southern, which I just bought because he didn't, but I'll tell you exactly what I believe. The next generational railroad opportunity, in my honest and humble opinion, that is all it is NSC. And I'm going to show you why using a very simple test, and you can run this on any railroad on earth. I call it the toll booth test, and it has just 3 tracks. Keep these 3 words in your head. Mo, machine and money in motion, right? So track 1, the moat. The question is very simple. Can anyone build a second one for a railroad? The answer is basically no. No one's going to lay tracks coast to coast. It'd just be the worst business nightmare you could ever invite in. So check, right? Track 2, how well does it actually run? And there is one number the pros live and die by that almost no retail investors ever heard of. It's called the operating ratio. And that sounds scary, right? But it isn't. Here's what it means. And again, download the free report that Winston made, or write this down. How many cents does it cost the company to earn $1? So an operational ratio of 65 means it costs them 65 cents to bring in $1. 35 cents has left as profit. An operation ratio of 70 means it costs them 70 cents to essentially generate $1, leaving them 30 cents profit. So the rule is simple. Lower is better. The lower the number, the leaner and the meaner the railway machine, right? I could sell, what are those? What was that mean? Grilling machine or something called when you know the ad I'm talking about. Boxer chap, put it in the comments, help me out. So when you hear a railroad operating ratio is falling, that's the sound of a business getting better. So now you understand the single most important number in the entire railroad industry, on which nobody understands this. And then we have track numero T, money in motion. And this asks, is the business quietly getting stronger while the crowd is looking the wrong way, more efficient every year, gaining pricing power? Got some catalyst coming that the headlines are ignoring? That's the money in motion. So the best time to own a great toll booth is when everybody else is distracted by something shiny, 2-letter word, because it's on sale, not many. So that's your checklist, right? Vote can't be copied. Machine is to operating ratio falling. Money in motion is it's getting stronger while nobody is watching. So let's run good old NSC, Norfolk Southern, through all 3 tracks, the good and the bad. I'm not here to sell you, right? By the way, if you're thinking I'm pumping this stock, it's a little too big for us to achieve anything meaningful. I can tell you that I think 1.3 million shares were traded yesterday. A couple of hundred of that was me. So I'm not moving the market here. My goal is to teach you some skills so you can judge for yourself, and you can see how important it is to have these skills, and also to encourage you to show up on Saturday for yourself so you get even more skills. So Norfolk Southern runs about 19,000 miles of tracks across 22 eastern states and Washington, D.C., which apparently isn't a state. Again, Americans, you can explain to me what the heck happened there. So picture the entire eastern half of the US, the ports, the factories, the big cities. I was just in New York, glorious. They all laced together by one company's rails, and that network is the TOB. Could anybody rebuild it? Not a chance, right? Try laying tracks through like New York State. I mean, never going to happen, right? So the mode is real. So we passed track 1. Track 2, the machine. Is it improving? Yes, they're getting leaner. The operating ratio has been grinding in the right direction because they're cutting waste. They're running more efficiently, so it's getting better under the hood. But I always want to be honest with you, there's a scar here. In 2023, one of their trains derailed in East Palestine. Now, I was like, Palestine, how do you get there? But the rail, no. Barry lives in East Palestine in Ohio. So that shows to know what goes to show what I know about the US. So it caused a chemical spot, quite a serious one. It was an environmental disaster. It cost the company a fortune and lawsuits and so on, and it hammered their trust. So why does it matter to you as an investor? Because a railroad got fur on my glasses. It's what happens if you got 8 cats, because a railroad's most valuable invisible asset is the belief that it's safe and reliable, and you break that. You got to earn back the trust, better safety, better operations, and so on. So yes, machine is improving, but there is a little bit of a trust issue there. Track this is, I wonder if anyone's going to pick up on the 8 cats thing there, right? This guy is properly certifiable, isn't he? So the part nobody outside Wall Street is paying attention to. And I'll show you also how I can tell that Wall Street is paying attention to this if you stick around till the end. There's a proposed $85 billion deal to merge Norfolk Southern with another giant called Union Pacific to create America's first true transcontinental railroad. That's a word you don't hear very often. And if you imagine it, it's the railroad that owns the eastern half of the country and the railroad that owns much of the western half. And they're deciding to stitch their maps together, build one single coast-to-coast toll road, one company, one track, ocean to ocean, right? The entire world, according to some Americans. Okay, so the combined network would stretch across dozens of extra states, connect around 100 ports, and for whoever owns it, that's a wider, deeper toll booth than anything that existed before. So what does it mean for an NSC owner, NC shareholder like what I am now? It was structured so Norfolk Southern shareholders receive stock in the combined company plus cash for their shares. That's the opportunity. Being an owner before the map gets redrawn, but this is critical. It isn't done. This kind of mega merger needs approval from Federal Railroad pencil sharpness, and that sort of stuff takes a long time, right? So the current plan doesn't even aim to close until 2027. I told you it was railroad time, and it's got some opposition big customers, the occasional politician, some rail unions, worried about other people having more power than themselves. So it could get blocked, it could get delayed, So don't assume it's a big thing. So how would a professional think about this and retail? I'd give you 3 rules. 1, always go slow. We don't need to put all of our money today in it. A great investor builds a position in pieces over time. Slow and boring always wins. 2, size it sensibly. This is a bit cyclical. It's not a lottery ticket. It's not going to triple by tomorrow. I believe it's a good piece in a diversified portfolio. It definitely is not the whole portfolio. And then 3, know your reasons. If you know your reasons why you're buying it, you don't panic sell it the moment the crowd gets a little bit scared and it drops 3%. So if you bought it for the mode and the merger, a scary headline isn't a reason to run. It might be an opportunity. And here is how the whole thing ties together. It's exactly the kind of boring, physical, real economy business that tends to survive when the flashy stuff, the latest technology stuff, deflates. While everyone else is, white-knuckling the overpriced favorites, the person who quietly owns the tour booth just keeps collecting tots. And that's the entire mindset I want to give you today. Own the toll booth. Don't care about the traffic or the technology. And if you've learned just this toll booth test, you're ahead of most people, even on Wall Street, who don't know a thing about railroads. There are 3 tracks for our test. Mo, it can't be copied. Is the operating machine improving? And is it getting stronger while nobody's watching? Right. We've just run a real company through it. Norfolk Southern. The good, the sky, the massive catalyst. And now the most important thing I'll say in this video, and I promise to show you where I can see institutional buying. Understanding one great stock is not the same as protecting your money when the whole market turns. And I genuinely believe a turn is coming for the crowded, the flashy end of this market. It starts with ANI. So do the one thing that actually matters. Come and learn the full framework of how to survive the bubble that will inevitably burst. Every technology, no matter how wonderful it is, and AI is amazing, I use it in all my businesses. I absolutely love it. But it doesn't mean that the lunatics that run Wall Street and our financial institutions are not over-leveraging, not lending too much, and pushing the risk off to other people who don't understand it. Because that's what happened every single time we had a great piece of new technology. So grab your free ticket at survivethebubble.com. Join me for 2 hours. It's going to be free. It's going to be live. I know there'll be no replay. And now let me show you what I promised I'd show you, which is actually, I'll show you two things. Trump bought it. That might matter more to you than others, but he did. $43,000. Not a huge amount, but yeah, we're seeing some buying there. And if I look at the chart, I show you briefly, not in full because the video would go on forever. What I was looking at a stock that has been heart-beating its way sideways for quite a period of time. Always the same highs, right? That one here, this one there, this one there. And then you're thinking, oh, charts are just crazy stuff. Doesn't mean anything. Well, charts tell you all the money in the world and what it's doing with the stock. Is it buying it? Is it selling it? Where does it think it is cheap? Where does it think it deserves buying? Where does it think it deserves selling? And I bought it basically here, that last arrow there a day or two ago. And oddly enough, volume almost doubled. And what does that mean down here? It means that institutions are buying this because we don't get an extra 600, 700,000 shares bought a day. It's like 1.4 million shares because this is a fairly pricey stock. So 1.4 million shares, more than usual, at $330. Say that's almost $500 million. So that doesn't lie in, a few lunatic retail investors' pockets. No, they're watching the same thing. Why are they watching the same thing? Because we all learn the same bloody rules, because that's how Wall Street runs. No one's really got a particular secret sauce. We all just have the same rules. So come and learn some of those rules with me, and how we can apply it and survive the bubble when it pops. I don't know when it pops. Absolutely no freaking idea. It could be tomorrow. It could be in 6 months. It could be in a few years, even possible. But look at the numbers. Look at the facts. Look at the comparison points to every bubble we've ever had. And it kind of screams at you, well, it's going to happen at some point. Nobody knows exactly when, but it's going to happen at some point, right? I am dropping 25% in a day is a little bit of a clue that people get scared about stuff, and all it needs is confidence to leave the building, and the whole house of cards, comes crashing down. So I don't want it to affect you the way it affected people in 2000 and in 2008, because it is dreadful. Hence, this training, which I'll be running in the middle of the bleeding night, so that more of you guys can watch it, be there live, ask questions. So show up, survivethebubble.com. And if you got some value out of this, and if you know some people who are heavily into tech, or maybe just a bit worried about where to put their money in this crazy market, sitting on the sidelines is not the solution. By the way, I'm almost fully invested. I always am. Send them the link. Send them the survivebubble.com link. Put it on your social media, your X or your Facebook or wherever you share stuff. I truly appreciate it. And I think the people who will click on it and join us will also truly appreciate it, because we're going to open their eyes and going to give them the insight and the rules of what the smart money is doing right now. I wish you all the best. The biggest buyers of gold on the planet just made their largest purchase in 3 years, and they did it while everybody else was panic selling. Right now there is a